Warning, I'm not the man you think I am. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 7, Episode 2, A Pirate's Life. I'm your host, Dom. Joining me, we have Jake. Oh. Nikki. And Rachel. How's it going?
It's going.
So, I'm not even going to ask you guys what you thought of this episode. What do you guys think of Hook not being Hook?
I love it. It's a really good way of making it so, Emma and Hook are still together.
Yeah.
But it's a different Hook.
Now, question. Is it not kind of a cop-out? See what I did there? To say, okay, so we appease the fans who want Emma and Hook to have a happy ending, but you're still going to have Hook in the season, but it's not the Hook that you know, and it's not the Hook that you grew up with, but he's kind of the same, but not really, and he's a lot older, but he's younger.
I actually kind of liked the drunken Hook because he was, a little more sarcastic kind of thing. I kind of liked it.
He was a super douchebag.
Right.
Kind of.
So,
I kind of liked him. He cracked me up. He made me laugh.
For clarification purposes out there, because I'm sure there are some people out there that may not realize what is going on. Last season, Regina made a wish. Was it Regina?
It was Regina. She made a wish to send Emma to her happy ending or whatever.
That she was never the savior.
Yes, that's the one.
That was evil Regina.
Evil Regina.
So it brought Emma to this world. It created this whole wish world where the people just appeared because of this wish, right? So Emma met all these people where the curse had never been cast. So they got to live their lives out because they're still the same age that they would have been, except they didn't have the curse put on them, which slowed their aging to nothing. Mm-hmm. So Hook aged the full length of the 21 years or whatever. How, was it?
28.
28 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's 28 years older than the Hook that we know now, because of the curse and all that. So now apparently this Wish Realm Hook has been traveling and made it to this new realm, which we still don't have a name for. It's just been called the New Realm. Mm-hmm. And that's where he bumps into Hook. So this goes to show you right here, this episode alone, how much they're still keeping to tying in the canon from the previous series and not completely scrapping what happened.
There are people who call this season the spin-off show.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a spin-off.
No, it's not.
Right.
You can call it whatever you want, but that's
not
not what this is.
No.
Right. If anything, it's closer. I'm not calling it. It's closer to a reboot than it is a spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
By far closer to a reboot than it is a spin-off. It is not a spin-off. There's no way you can call it a spin-off.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Wonderland was a spin-off.
Yes. There you go. That's
Yes.
a spin-off.
This is not a spin-off.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I really, really like this because this gives us the freedom of Emma has her happy ending. Everybody's like, oh, does this wrap up Emma's story now? Is this going to be a satisfying thing? I think it is. I think this is a satisfying.
It ain't over.
I think it's a satisfying ending for her.
It's not the end of it's not
Emma.
the end of the character Emma. We're going to get young Emma, in flashbacks and stuff. We're going to see the character Emma throughout the rest of the season. Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think so.
I think we're gonna see flashbacks.
I don't think so. See, the thing is, we don't know right now. We don't know how long has passed between Cursed Hyperion Heights and Storybrooke. We don't know that. For all we know, Emma's child could already be the same age as Henry. We don't know the time span between when the curse was cast and now. We don't. That is a fact. We do not know that information. The curse was not cast at the point where they went into this flashback.
But
we don't know how much time has passed.
I don't want the stupid time stopping and then people are the same age anymore. Can we not do that, please?
Yeah, I don't. I have a feeling that it's a little bit of a different curse. It's more the people are cursed, and I think they still grow older, and it's not exactly the place is cursed, just the people. They forget, and I think the longer they're in this curse, the more they forget about who they were.
Well, there are normal people, quote unquote, normal people in the town.
Yeah. That's why I said the people are cursed, not the town.
Yeah, the curse is on the people. They don't have their whatever the New Realm memories. They don't know who they were. They are just these people who are cursed. And Lady Tremaine is trying to get these cursed people to separate, so they're not all in one place.
We're assuming a lot about the curse, though. We don't know. What we do know is they can leave the town. That's all we know. We don't know if they've stopped aging. We don't know if they can or can't age. This is all information we don't have at this point. All we know for sure is they can leave the town. We know that the town resists it because Jacinda's car broke down last episode trying to leave. We know that it resists it, but it doesn't prevent them from leaving. So that's all we know. We don't know any details about this curse. So, yes, the time is not stopped physically on a clock like, Storybrooke, but that doesn't mean the people don't age. We don't know that. So it is completely possible that Emma's baby has been born and is old enough by the time this curse has been cast, or by the time we're watching these characters right now. It's
in
possible.
The town?
In the town.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's possible.
I would say
I'm not saying it is, but it is possible. So finding out that Emma's pregnant though gives it gives us an ability to have Emma's story continue on as we watch through a new character, and be like, oh, this is the son or daughter of the savior. It does add some dimension to that and allow us to continue exploring Emma in a way without physically putting Emma on the screen. So Emma and Neil had Henry, and we have the heart of the truest believer. But I feel like Emma and Hook had true love, which is not what Emma and Neil had. Mm-hmm. And that would create a whole different style child. It would...
You got the baby of the Savior, two Dark Ones, and the product of true love. So,
yeah.
We know what the product of true love created in the first place. Like the first time we heard of
created
this
Emma.
Was it created Emma. So
I don't think
savior?
I don't think the product of true love means that
no, I know, not every time, but
no, because we learned that Rumpel was originally supposed to be the savior.
Yeah.
And that definitely wasn't the product of true love.
Well, and then Aladdin was the savior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we don't know about his parents, so
they might have hated each other.
Yeah. Might be an arranged marriage, we don't know.
Lewis says, Nikki, have your feelings changed? Will you miss Emma?
No. I'm happy that we kind of got a partially tied bow on her, and she's gone. She's moving on.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, the character Emma is done. This is it. Jennifer Morrison will not be appearing on the show again. To our knowledge, things may change.
For a very long time.
Things may change, and we may find out when the show decides to finally have its final season that Emma may come back for the final episode, something like that.
They like to say, "Oh, well, she'll never come back," or if she even likes to say, "I'll never come back." Never say never. Mm-hmm. You ever watched American Tail Fivefold?
Well, they said never all the time in season 3.
Penn never fails.
To be fair, Jennifer Morrison, she has this kind of track record. When she says she's done, she's done. Like, look at House.
Yeah.
She said, I'm burning the bridge with House, and she walked away, and she never looked back. Mm-hmm. Even when people were, begging for her to come back.
Yeah. I mean, track record aside, that may change for the final episode, because I feel like this
Oh,
show had a
yeah.
lot more impact on her than House did.
Oh, definitely. It's
so-
definitely a more family friendly, even
Yeah.
on set.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not out of the question, but I wouldn't look to it. All in all, if this is the last time we do see Emma, I think it is a satisfying ending for her.
Mhm.
You know,
I
her
do
and
like
Hook
the little
go
twist,
off
the
to
whole
have their
Hook twist.
happily ever after, and, you know, they have a child together. What more can you ask for?
Or maybe 2 childs.
Yeah.
It can
could
be
be
twins.
Yeah.
Then we get this whole, and then one of them gets sent off away, and it turns out she's
Or-
a princess, and then her home planet gets destroyed, and then we have the other baby, who's the son, who's like on some desert somewhere with his aunt and uncle.
Or they move out into the countryside and we get a new season of 18 and counting.
Ew.
No. No. Talk about spin-offs, jeez.
That's a
Yeah.
spin-off, guys.
Yeah, one that nobody wants. But yeah, no, I think having this Hook, and I think it was it Jake that mentioned it to me a couple days ago? He said you actually have a reason now to call him Rogers instead of Hook.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because we need to call him something.
Yeah.
Because he's not Hook. Well, he is.
I
but
don't
he's
know.
not Hook.
I am really actually excited to see the new Hook, or Rogers as you would call it, because because it's not him, so he's gonna play it different, and maybe he'll have. I have a feeling the actor who plays it, Colin. He's gonna have so much fun playing this Hook.
yeah.
But
he's,
how different is he going to make it? Because so far it's been the same.
well, he is an old. Well, he's the same
He is
because
the
he doesn't
same.
know who he is, but he's a much older version of Hook. He has seen
Yeah.
a lot more in his lifetime, so he's probably going to approach situations, hopefully, with more intelligence.
Well, I need to see that in flashbacks though, because right
Yeah.
now we're just seeing cursed him, and we never seen a cursed Hook before.
Yeah.
We still
I mean,
haven't.
also now we know that the Wish Hook has a daughter, and
And then
That's
where the fuck?
different.
But does this mean?
So-
So here's what I'm trying to figure out. Did this daughter happen before the whole curse scenario, the curse that didn't happen? Because they mentioned in this episode that he's you Hook up until a certain point in his life when the curse did not get cast. So if he had a daughter before the curse was supposed to be cast, does that mean that our Hook also has a daughter?
No.
no,
I
they
don't.
split off.
I do not believe that this Wish Hook, or Rogers, as we should probably call him now. I don't believe Rogers had a daughter prior to when the curse was supposed to be cast. I believe he had one during said period, this 28-year span, right? So he had a daughter at some point during then that he's looking for now. So it would be an adult. Or I
close
couldn't say
to.
would be. It could be an adult. If it was had at the
Weird tiny
point in
stuff.
which the curse was supposed to be cast. Say he had one like that week, then he's got a 28-year-old daughter running around.
Mhm.
So,
But it sounds like that she was already born when he was talking to him. So, well, he was.
Well, when he
looking
was
for her
talking to
for a
this
long
Hook.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so the daughter's already born. So that's what I'm saying. The daughter could be anywhere from a year to a year would be a little ridiculous with him old and out of shape now. I'd say the daughter's got to be at least 5 years old to like 28, somewhere in that range.
Who
Yeah.
said it? Jay Vasquez says, I think Roger's daughter is Alice because of the chess piece. God, I hope not.
Well, that's
hope
that's
not.
what everyone was thinking, but the same thing is Jacori in chat says, but Rapunzel played chess too.
Mm-hmm.
In the Disney version.
Right,
And that was not a defining characteristic of her.
right. But
What if his daughter's Anastasia from Wonderland? No, I'm just throwing that.
That is not out of the question.
I literally broke something on my desk doing that.
that wouldn't work because the Wish Realm wasn't created until after.
Mhm.
But here's the thing.
It's Wonderland.
This show can do whatever the fuck it wants.
I feel like the Wish Realm was always there.
It wasn't.
No, it was created with the Wish.
Well,
Who knows?
Neverland was always there, but everybody says it was created because of Pan.
Well,
It
yeah,
was.
but it was always there, but it wasn't the Neverland that Pan was living in. Neverland was like a barren land that people don't live in. When
No,
Pan
Neverland
came
was
there,
a thought. It didn't actually exist. When he went there, it manifested into a physical form, and it had an expiration date on it. That was the whole reason to bring Henry in, to try to make it
so
real.
Pan created Neverland as we know it, but like the land that he actually went to was kind of a place, sort of, kind of.
It was basically created out of a wish as well. And it had an expiration date. It didn't have a physical form other than what Pan made it when he first went there. And then it had that giant hourglass, and he was trying to get Henry there to use the Heart of the Truest Believer to secure it into the real world permanently. And
there's so many theories in chat, and I hate all of them.
I don't. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm
no,
like, nope,
I mean there is
no.
a possibility that Alice is Hook's daughter. It's possible.
I don't like that.
Whether you like it or not, it's a possibility. There is a possibility it's Rapunzel, and there's a possibility it's a character we haven't met yet.
Or Cinderella, as everyone else is saying.
That's like
Because this old crusty ass Hook seemed to know Lady Tremaine.
Well, yeah, she cut off his hand in this one.
But I'm saying, is there more to it? I don't know.
No,
I don't
she
think
didn't
so,
say she
because-
cut off his hand. She said, I will cut off your other hand. Something like that. So she was making reference to if he didn't participate,
Well,
she would cut
see,
the other one off.
But see, she's Cinderella's stepmom, so she's not even Cinderella's mom. She would have had to been married to Hook in order for that to even be a thing.
No, this Wish Realm Hook or Rogers, whatever, still got his hand chopped off by Rumple. It still all went down that way. The only time their path changed was at the point in which the curse was cast, which he had already lost his hand by
His
then.
daughter is Giselle.
And also, he was moving his hands in this episode.
There's some shady stuff going on with the hand. So I don't know, but
I mean, it could be. I mean, they have had robotic hands now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could be
Yeah.
that.
it's still a
Like
pretty
Star
stiff
Wars.
hand. They've mentioned
It is stiff, but he grabbed the doorknob with it. He was holding the cup, and he was.
Maybe
grabbing
he
it.
has a bunch of different hands that he puts on, and one of them makes a fist
He just takes
that
them
he
off
uses.
all the
That's
time.
his door.
No.
He has a door knocking hand and a doorknob
Well,
turning
Weaver
hand.
did
What
mention
it
that
is-
he's got with one bad hand. He mentioned that, so it's not a real hand, so to speak. But he's using it. I mean, just because even if you
He
had a
said
wood hand,
one
that doesn't mean you
bad
can't
hand.
do anything with it.
One bad
No,
hand does not
what it
mean
is
a wooden
he
hand.
has a Mary Poppins bag.
Oh, he does.
And he has all his hands in the
Uh-huh.
Mary Poppins bag. And when he needs a certain hand, he just reaches in and does a switcheroo.
It's his
and-
handbag.
Exactly.
You
I was
might as
going
well
in
just
that
be Inspector Gadget at this point. Go Gadget. Toothbrush.
Yeah, we were there, Jake. We connected right there.
Go Gadget toothbrush, and a toothbrush pops out, and he brushes his teeth. Like, might as well just be Inspector Gadget.
It's like Gremlins, a little bathroom buddy.
Oh my
But
God.
I also do like the fact that he even mentioned as Rogers that he was looking for a missing girl, and
He gave
Lady
up.
Tremaine got in the way.
So that's interesting because he said he's looking for this girl. He went into an alley and somebody shot him. He doesn't know who, but he knows it was somebody who shot him.
Yep.
And then that a woman came up to him, placed her hand on his wound, and said, "If you believe, then this is going to work." And that being healing, the
Right,
healing
which-
magic.
Made us to believe that his version is Emma, because he points Emma out in the book. So he's remembering what happened in the unnamed realm
Yes.
to a degree, even as his curse self.
Yeah. It's just different.
Dare I say bleeding through? But
Yeah.
Nikki didn't like that pun.
No one did.
It's only okay if we do it.
Yeah.
We just ignore him now. And we move on.
Lewis is saying it's Rapunzel. He mentioned a tower and a witch. It's obvious. That could be. It could be. That is one huge possibility.
The rook is a tower, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Belle was also in a tower kept by a witch.
Well, who wasn't in a tower?
Exactly.
Right?
Snow White.
She was in a tower.
For all we know, it's another version of Sleeping Beauty. And the reason why he can't find her is because she's sleeping. Because he also mentioned something about, the true love and all that kind of crap, and that's the reason why.
Well, the only two characters we know that we haven't seen yet that are coming up for sure
It's Tiana.
We've seen Tiana.
The only two characters that we have not seen that are coming up is Anastasia and Rapunzel. So those are the two primary candidates so far for Hook's daughter. But, we'll see, because I'm sure a lot of the new flashbacks that we're going to get, especially knowing that Regina, Henry, and Rogers are in the new realm, and they're going on adventures.
I just hope they don't make Rogers and Regina a thing, because that'd just be really, really weird.
No, I don't see it happening.
No.
I don't see it happening.
No.
I don't want it to happen,
No.
but you know something with this show, you never know, but please do
I
not.
can see Rogers flirting with Regina. I can see that, but I could see her be like, really? No. Because he flirts with anything with a pulse.
Yes. But I do love that version of Hook, because I think it's hilarious. When I saw him in the Wish One, he cracked me up the whole entire time.
Because he doesn't have a filter. I mean,
I love it.
He does.
The original Hook, he had like a slight filter, but he grew into the Hook
he was a gentleman.
today. He was gentleman about it. Whereas the Wish Hook, he just doesn't have a filter.
He's a babbling idiot. He doesn't know when he's trying to talk to Henry and try to offer some words, he's just mumbling and fumbling over himself.
Mm-hmm. Henry's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, he's like, "Are you alright?"
How long were you supposed to keep up this charade? I don't know.
No.
He's just like, "I don't even want to do it anymore." Yeah, I'm not Hook.
But I love the whole mythology behind the magical message in a bottle. I really like that. That was really, really cool.
That when Henry sent the message to Hook, it went to all the Hooks.
Yeah.
Which means there is another Hook.
There are many other Hooks.
Ooh, more Colin.
I
Sign me
feel
up
like
for
we're
that
actually
dinner
gonna get that. We're gonna have another Hook.
There's another Regina.
It's true.
And I'm not talking about Wish Realm. I'm talking about Wish Realm Regina, not like Evil Queen Regina from the.
I want them to
thingy.
do an Hook like the Disney Peter Pan Hook. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. And I know there were a lot of problems that people were spouting off, going, well, Adam and Eddie said we weren't getting new versions of Hook, Regina and Rumple. Well, we didn't get a new version of Hook. It's the same one that existed.
The very old version of Hook.
We have the old version of Hook and the new old version of Hook. They still existed prior to the show. They didn't say, they never once said, we are getting the original people back as these characters. They never said that those were the ones that were cursed. They never outright said that the Hook that we know and love is cursed. They never said that. They just said Hook. They're not wrong. So
now are we going to find out that this Rumple is the Wish Realm Rumple? Because, we had that whole thing about him, because we had speculated last season about Wish Realm Rumple and what he was all up to and how he escaped and his whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't know what happened to him really, so yeah.
Yeah. We don't know, there's a lot of, and this possibly explains how the magic beans came back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if Wish Realm Hook is running around trying to find his daughter, and he's in a different realm than the one he started in, he probably had access to beans somewhere. And if he's traveling around, he probably has a surplus of them.
Well, does he still have the Jolly Roger? Because the Jolly Roger can transcend realms.
That we don't know. I know at one point, our Hook lost it to Blackbeard and stuff like that.
He got it back.
So, right. So I'm saying you would think somewhere along the lines that Hook traded it for something or lost it to something. This Wish Realm Hook did.
Pretty sure he had it when they got married.
Wish Realm Hook got married?
No, I mean, I thought you were talking about...
No, I'm talking about Wish Realm Hook's Jolly Roger.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. They haven't really said.
Right.
And we also don't know what happened in that, 2 or 3 year span when, Wish Realm was off with Regina. Maybe they got in contact with Hook and Emma again and been like, hey, can we borrow the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just
Or
like
a
the fact
hat.
that he thought that, taking out that hook, he was going to get Emma. I was just like, seriously, dude, really?
Well, they fell for it for like 2 seconds.
Hmm.
But
He's
turns
like,
out you
he's
had-
like silly nonsense plan. Doesn't
he
really
wasn't
think
think-
about
he wasn't thinking. What he
No.
wants is, he just wants to be happy.
His weenie was he was thinking with his weenie's brain.
That's gross.
Yeah, it is gross, but I mean
That's
that's
gross.
that's literally. I mean, he just wanted Emma because true love and
Well,
Like,
because there's another
wham,
version
bam,
of
thank you,
him
ma'am.
who has it. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he was trying to find his daughter, or something was with his daughter in true love and helping him find
Okay,
it.
he
or something.
needed true love to break the curse on his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Alex says that he's still a little irritated on the subject, but I guess I'm going to move on because it was an awesome episode. Great writing. He's talking about the hook swap. And I mean, I could get that. I get where you could be a little frustrated on that. But,
I think
all in all,
if
if Ab and Eddie revealed everything before the fact, if they didn't dance over their words and things like that, you'd know everything that was happening before it happened, and there
I
would be
don't
no
think,
reason to watch
and I
the
think
show.
there would be, more people who would have gone into this season already hating it, or even people who just wouldn't watch the show had they known this going in.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. I like the twist. I thought
I did like the twist.
Once is
I wasn't
always known for
expecting
its
it.
twists. So.
I wasn't expecting it, but I actually kind of like it.
And
No,
'cause
I totally wasn't.
I went
expecting it.
back and rewatched this episode a second time from when I initially watched it because I watched it with my mother. We had lunch and we sat down and watched the thing.
Jimmy John's.
So I guess this is turning into like a tradition with us now. Like we'll on Tuesdays we'll get lunch and we'll bring it back, and she'll come back to the house and we'll watch
Oh,
it.
she gets to
So-
watch it with her baby boy.
So we had sitting there in a second viewing, knowing now that Wish Hook is Hook or Rogers. When he starts talking to Rumple or Weaver, and he's talking about the watch and his expectations of the watch, and he's like, "I'm not the man you think I am." I was just like, "Oh, that's so clever the way they worked that in so early in the episode." And like seeded that, where if you were really, really paying attention, they go, "I'm not the man you think I am," and then it cuts to, Hook meeting the other Hook, and I'm just like, oh, I should have picked up on this the first viewing, but I didn't, and that's where I get really clever writing, so. But
Yeah, no, I really
And
I
clever
like the way-
editing.
Yeah, I like the way where they're going with it. It's really different, kind of, and it's kind of refreshing.
Well, we need refreshing.
Yep.
I think it's a good idea,
Yeah, well, I mean, that was
And it
the
helps-
reason.
and it helps the actors. They could play the same character, but he gets to play it in a
Well,
different
how
way.
fun is it to play old crusty ass drunk Hook who's not really drunk?
I know.
Pretty fun.
That was fun. I love him.
Well, I'm expecting
I
a lot of
almost-
stories to
I
tell.
almost expected drunk, crusty ass, fake drunk Hook to rip off his belly and be like dun 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 dun, have his like nice chiseled
Well,
chest.
what
and
I'm
stuff.
curious now
Oh,
is how
please?
this changes the dynamic between Rumpelstiltskin and Hook.
Well, they still have that beef.
Right, that's
Still
the
there.
thing. They have this beef because our Hook and Rumple kind of put it aside.
They still hate each other.
Yeah,
Right, but they
a
put
lot
it
of people still
aside.
hate Rumple.
They
They
put it
never
aside.
put
They
it
can
aside.
tolerate each other.
Yeah.
No, they
But,
can't.
but yes, they've gone and they've done things together.
yeah, but that doesn't mean
I
they
said they
each
tolerate. Not that they forgive each other, because that's far from it. They're just
Oh, come
not
on, they're
trying to
totally
kill each other during
BFFs.
family time and all that kind of stuff. But this version of Hook never had that.
No, he didn't have that. even slight bonding. I mean, there was points where Hook went to Rumple for help, like when he got his hand back on his first date with Emma, like
And how great that turned out.
that didn't turn out great, but what happened because Hook had, he trusted Rumple enough to help him with this.
He didn't trust him.
If he didn't trust him in a slight way, he wouldn't have went to Rumple for help. But you're right. This new Hook, this Wish Hook, this new old Hook, Rogers, thank you. They didn't have any of that. They didn't have any of those experiences with each other to even remotely, even in this full, meet halfway. They haven't done that at all.
Because I think our Hook has the understanding too, like, I can't just outright kill this Rumpelstiltskin guy anymore because I'm in love with Emma and Emma has Henry and it's Henry's grandfather, and if I do
Henry
that,
doesn't give a shit about Rumple.
That's not true.
He doesn't.
He
doesn't give a shit about Rumple. Rumple doesn't give a shit about him. They do not have they never bonded. They never had, like, what little scenes they did have together. You can tell Rumple is like, what the fuck is this kid doing in my shop?
I mean,
and
I guarantee you
we're
going to find out that's not the case because Rumple wouldn't have come otherwise.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you we're going to find that out because we still don't know how Rumple got there.
He wouldn't have had Alice interfere with Henry at the ball with Cinderella if he didn't care for Kim at all.
Or there's something in it for Rumple and he needs Henry to stay out of it.
That I will agree with Jake on. That is a huge possibility.
It could go either way.
It probably goes both ways, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we're going to find out why Rumple came, and it's going to have a lot to do with Henry. So to say that Rumple doesn't care for Henry is very mistaken.
He wanted to kill him.
Because Rumple realizes that, it's all he has left to his connection with Neil.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you screwed it up the first time. What makes you think you're going to fix it now?
Well, and now he has Baby Mo. Who knows where that is?
Yeah, Gideon's coming back, too.
Well, Baby Mo is like, that's a whole nother thing. And you didn't do right by that son either. Just Rumple, you need to stop. Just stop.
You need to get a vasectomy, Rumple, because, you need to just stop having kids.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it is you were able to have kids, It's just like, I'm surprised, like, we poke you and dust comes.
300-year-old sperm.
No, they poke him and literally the word poof comes out.
Poof.
He needs to drink that potion that was given to, the gypsy potion that was given to that one king's wife, so they couldn't have children. George, was
Maybe.
it?
Oh, that's taking it all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rumple just needs to stop reproducing.
Well, I don't know where Belle is.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna find out, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe
I really
we'll find out
didn't
that
care.
This is Wish Rumple.
I really didn't care too much about what was going on in Hyperion Heights this episode. The dance recital and all that. Like, I didn't care about it.
I'm just glad
it was just going to show, how vindictive and petty
Tremaine was.
Tremaine is, yeah.
Well, we already know that.
Exactly. It's like we already know how petty she is. Because if you know her character, even in Cinderella and even in the animated series, you know how petty she is. And
I think something to do with the way Henry was approaching Jacinda too, because you could see that he, like, the first meeting they had in Ronnie's, he was stricken with her, and he feels like he owes her because of the stuff that happened with Lucy, how he got her taken away. Like, he feels like he's at fault, and he wants to pay her back, he wants to help her, and I think that's his curse his not cursed memories bleeding through, as Dom was saying for Rogers.
Tiana's memories are bleeding through. She made another frog comment this episode.
Damn with your damn frog comments, and I think that you don't have to put those in, but this baffles me. This baffles me that I've talked to people who still don't know who this character is.
Really? Really?
Not all.
Yeah, they I talked to them about it, and and they were talking about, they're like, oh, they're like, yeah, I like the show, but like, there's this one character, and like, I don't like her, but I think I'm gonna like her as soon as I find out who she is. I don't know if she's important right now or something. And I'm like, bitch.
To be fair, we've been doing this for 4+ years now. We've kind of made it our job to pick and prod at things and pick out things that other people wouldn't see.
But come on.
I know it is very, very obvious, but not everybody pays attention like we do.
But come on.
Like, oh, I mean, they even showed her in like her ball dress in the flashbacks, and it was like almost identical to the one in the movie. So
Yeah.
how do you not? And she's like, no, I don't want frog pigs.
Yeah.
You know?
Lewis says, though, guys, let's be real. This was Emma's episode. And with that being said, what I especially liked about this being like Emma's farewell is it didn't over-focus on her. It actually
No.
put her in as little as it needed to. And I think that was the beauty of it. And I don't know if necessarily that was part of the contract deal that Jennifer Morrison had. But just the fact that they overshadowed her her exit on the series with this Hook reveal, I think was a fantastic choice. You know, so
And even though they wrapped her story up and it was like the final farewell goodbye, it didn't feel like that. You know what I mean?
No.
It didn't feel like, oh, she's just going away forever. We're never
It-
gonna
it-
hear about her again.
They tied it up, but it was satisfactory enough to. It's not an open ending,
Mhm.
but it still can go on in other ways. Like Emma's story can continue on with her children,
Mhm.
or
It is
Uh,
continuing on with her children.
well, I'm not
least
talking
one
about
child.
Henry.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Henry. I'm talking about like new characters we have not met yet. So,
Yeah.
So, one thing now that I'm hoping that we explore into as we're approaching, like, traveling now and we get to see some adventures, because I think we're done dealing with the how this happened, with the exception of Rumple. We still need to get that, but I feel like that's not going to come right away. I feel like now is adventure time with, Henry, Regina, and Rogers. And we get to see what they were doing in these other realms. I hope one of the things that is explored in some of these other realms that they may transfer to are different authors. I would like to see authors of all these other books and stories and stuff that we're dealing with.
Can we please just address the fact, in this show anyway, that Walt Disney was an author, and we need to like have the actual Disney versions of the characters in this show.
an actual Disney book for us
They're
to
like-
look at.
Yeah, they're like, hey, they
With
made a
Disney
movie about you.
animation.
Here it is.
Yeah, that would be a nice little like.
Even if we don't physically
Easter egg.
go to that realm, just to get the mention somewhere would be really cool.
Mhm.
But I know one thing that was mentioned is that a prominent LGBT storyline is going to appear this season. So at this stage, it's a little too early to tell.
We haven't met all the characters yet.
Right. So, do you guys have any
But then again-
guesses as to who it could possibly be?
And then again,
Tiana?
It
I
could
don't
be
wanna-
Tiana.
It could be Tiana, but I'm actually leaning towards Drusilla, and I think that's where her redemption arc's going to come from.
See, and I'm leaning more toward Alice.
Alice too, yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe Alice and Drusilla.
No,
Does it have to be a lady?
no,
No,
doesn't
it
have
does
to be.
not.
It could be guys too.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, based on who we've met so far, we've
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I know.
prominently met females. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
just based on that,
I mean,
Maybe
and
it's
who's to say?
Lucy.
And who's to say that we can't have, let's say everyone wants Mulan's not coming back, but there's Merida, and then there's also Dorothy and Red who say that no, they're not going to come back in some capacity, and we already had that. But right now it's all up in the air. I think we don't know the new characters well enough to.
They can do whatever
There,
the fuck
you,
they want.
you know what? There could be. Even though Henry is Jacinda's prince, maybe it's her and Tiana that end up in the end. Things like that happen. people do change their minds or feel differently about a person. You know, it can happen where Jacinda decides, you know, she's very close to Tiana when things happen, even though she had this relationship with Henry.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It could be Rapunzel too for the.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Definitely. You
I
don't
have
know.
no idea. There's many possibilities.
Or maybe it's this Hook. Maybe it's
No.
Hook just decides that, you know,
I
my
don't
true
think
love
so.
is what is true love?
What actually would be really
Naveen?
interesting is to find out that one of the Hyperion Heights characters is in an LGBT relationship when, like, as the cursed version, when their storybook counterpart was not. That would be a really interesting dynamic.
I don't know. They would run into some issues with that. Because,
really
you know,
tough.
I don't know. Because there's the question of, well, did the curse change their sexuality? Was their sexuality really fluid in the first place?
Yeah.
Or,
Well,
you know,
what
they would
that-
need to tackle that.
What that would tackle is when they get their memories back, what that does, you know.
Yeah,
I think that
mean,
would be
even-
an interesting storyline. I don't know if we'd ever tackle something to that
That's
depth,
that's
but
a pretty huge.
Yeah,
that
it's a
is
pretty sticky,
huge.
Sticky wicket
I don't know
potato.
if we're there yet. I don't know if we're there yet.
Yeah.
No. I don't think the general populace can
I'm not
handle
saying
that.
the show would
I mean,
do it. I'm saying
we
would
had a
like to
whole
see it.
we had a whole uppity do about LeFou being gay in Beauty and the Beast, and like, come on, like we all know.
Whatever. We all
Yeah,
knew he
like,
was gay in the first place.
Jay Vasquez says in chat, like Ronnie being a lesbian. That would be
Maybe.
really interesting. It
Yeah.
would. You know? So, you know. Who knows? Lewis is saying, but guys, I want it to be two men. That is completely possible. We've started seeing that more and more on TV. Typically, the more accepted of the two,
Even on
is
even
the
on
lesbian.
children's shows.
But we have on the originals. There was a huge gay relationship, two males.
There's a cartoon right now on Nickelodeon called The Loud House, and one of the main characters has two dads.
Yeah, so it's completely possible.
Yeah, and so, you know, and we got LeFou in Beauty and the Beast, and his, you know, man friend in the movie, and then we got Poe Dameron, who's supposed to be gay in the new Star Wars.
We don't know.
You don't know. Don't
Yep.
do it.
I don't know. So, you guys have anything else for this episode?
Oh, just speculation at this point.
Yeah, right now it's a speculation, but it's nice that they wrap some things up, and it's.
Alice.
I want to
in
know
Inception.
how many connections Henry has, because he set up that whole catering gig for Jacinda and Tiana.
Where did you get the shit?
That's where I'm saying, like, where does his connections come from? He's just an author who's wrote a fairy tale book.
And a very successful.
It is very
driver.
successful, but yeah, a swift driver. Yeah.
He's very successful.
He drives in, you know, the business district where all the workers live, like, you know, 30 miles away. So it's like a $50 trip.
You know, okay, now that they introduced Lucy as this little girl, I kind of want them to introduce like Lilo and Stitch, and then maybe her sister.
Can we please?
I can see her sister being gay, and I can see that because could be like Lucy's little friend and then her sister.
I feel
And
like that
cute.
particular character, those particular characters wouldn't be series regulars. It would end up being like Cinderella or Aurora, and, you know, like they would fade off eventually, and it would
That'd
be
be
very
nice.
I don't know.
nice to see for a couple episodes and then forgotten about. I mean, I wouldn't forget about it, but like it feels like the writers do that on.
Well, Lilo, the character Lilo,
I'm
is
just
like,
gonna say I still haven't forgotten about Auntie Anne. So
No, I just think it would be cute. I think it would be good. I think
Oh, it
because
totally would
that
be cute.
that would totally fit. It would.
Well, Henry never had friends. You know,
Mhm.
young Henry never had friends. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, Lucy, you know, she's got to make friends somehow. So,
Yeah.
you know, and she dances, and maybe she dances ballet at least. So maybe she finds a little hula dancing friend.
To
And
be
they go feed
fair,
punch together.
Yeah, and
To be
Pete
fair,
Punch the fish.
there really isn't that
Peanut butter
many
sandwich.
children characters that we have that we can pick out of, say, like Disney and stuff. Like
There's Mowgli, the Disney version of Arthur. There's Lilo.
Yeah,
Sword in the
not a
Stone.
whole lot.
that's still not a whole lot. It's not a whole. I mean, we had problems with figuring out what kids were in Storybrooke and then what kids were in the Underworld. Like
all the
Yeah,
all the
Christopher
kids,
Robin.
all the kids in the school in Storybrooke were all the mice from Zootopia. Boom,
Just the mice.
just the mice.
just the mice.
Done. Answered. It's canon now. Put it in the wiki.
Or they were.
I'm also curious if we're getting Alice, are we going to get other characters from Wonderland?
Like
Dinah?
I would like to see
Oh, Kitty.
right. I'd like to see them do a new. What would they do with the new Mad Hatter?
I don't know. They could potentially bring in another Mad Hatter, or I would like to see I'd like to see another White Rabbit or a Cheshire Cat, because we didn't get any Cheshire Cat. We did get him like in a scene in Wonderland.
Mhm.
Never saw him again,
Yeah.
and he was creepy as fuck.
Really quick, Jokori says, shouldn't Gideon look younger than new Henry because Henry was a teen when he was a baby? Curse,
Timey-wimey.
Curse and realm traveling. We don't know how that affects it, because say Henry went to another realm that has the same properties of Neverland, where people don't age, like,
Yeah.
or vice versa. And we know, Gideon spent a little time in the Black Fairies realm where time moved faster. So we don't know what other realms characters could be traveling in.
We don't know where
they
he
will
is right
answer
now.
it. Yeah.
We don't know where him and Bella are right now, anyways. So
Yeah, I'm sure they will answer it in some capacity. The only thing that we know for sure is more than 10 years has passed. That's it. That's all we know. So
I feel like the Gideon character we're going to get is the same Gideon character we got last season.
well, it's the same actor.
I know it's the same actor. I feel like it's the same Gideon from the future or whatever.
So,
I don't think he's going
It's
to be
baby
as
Gideon
evil.
grown up. It's baby Gideon
Yeah.
grown up. They said that,
Yeah.
that he's now going to be an adult.
Okay.
Big
Alright.
no.
So, yep.
So no, I just think it'd be cute to have the Lilo and Stitch thing going on, and her carrying around a little plush Stitch would be really cute.
No, a little Scrump and a little Stitch, both of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is Scrump. I made her, but her head.
Do
is
it!
big.
I just handed you guys a really good.
Well, they already filmed.
I know. But yeah, no, I can see them doing that. It was really cute.
Yep. And Lou says a lot of people thought Gideon was gay. Could Gideon be one of the gay characters? He could. There's possibilities everywhere. Like
We don't know.
we said, even Ronnie could be a lesbian for all we know. We don't.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to play out. Next episode is called The Garden of Forking Paths. When Cinderella finds herself staring danger in the eye, she receives help from an unlikely source. Her rescue leads to an alliance that could aid the defeat of Lady Tremaine's rule and reveals a dark secret from Cinderella's past. In Hyperion Heights, Jacinda goes to extreme measures to stop Victoria Belfry from destroying Lucy's beloved community garden, while Lucy tries to convince Henry that Victoria is after more than just a plot of land. Meanwhile, Victoria makes a discovery that could alter everyone's fate. I did see in the preview a backhoe ripping the well out, and Lucy basically jumps in the hole. So,
Oh, I don't know. There's forks. That could be Ariel, or if it's going to be literal forks, be either Ariel or Belle.
Or they use the forks to dig up the community garden. Using mainly spoons, we dig a tunnel under the city and release it into the wild.
There are such things as like garden forks. They're like little pitchforks,
Well, there is an actual short story called The Garden of Forking Paths. It was originally a Spanish short story written in 1941. So
It also kind of sounds like you're trying not to cuss too. So I don't know.
yeah,
Forking.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Forking Paths.
It's forking path. You
It's a
forking
forking
path.
pass.
Get the fork out of my way, you forking stupid head. Forkering. Forkatash. I
They're
wumbo, you
spooning and they're
wumbo.
forking.
Oh boy.
So, yep. Alex is a little conflicted about the promo for episode 3. It was very similar to the episode when Henry went into the mines. Lucy goes into the tunnels. Please, let's not rehash storylines.
But you know, that's
It's
interesting.
showing-
What's down there. Is there another version of Maleficent down there? Because that's cool.
It's showing parallels that Henry and Lucy are pretty much the same. You know, that
Yeah.
it's not rehashing stories. It's drawing parallels. There's a difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but
It's kind of like, yeah, she is her father's daughter.
Jay Vasquez says, do you guys believe Hyperion Heights is Storybrooke in the future because it's or is that a
No.
Well, how did
different?
Storybrooke go from over here to over here?
Storybrooke is in Maine. Hyperion Heights is in Seattle. They're on the opposite
We
ends
should
of
take
the country.
Storybrooke and push it somewhere else.
We'll just,
Oh, now we're getting into Lost territory.
oh god.
Now we're getting to SpongeBob territory. Rachel knows what I'm talking about.
There's literally a wheel. There's literally a wheel on the island
That's
that
another
controls
way
where
we
the
can
island
bring
goes.
in,
So-
Lilo and Stitch. They go down to feed Pudge, and there's a pineapple.
There's a pineapple, and then
and
they
there's
just
an
find
Easter
random
egg
ass spice.
head.
Yeah. It's like, what are these little trinkets that we found?
My friend who absolutely hated Lost, who never watched a single episode, just heard like little bits and pieces of it, and he's like, "Oh, so the island moved? So there's polar bears. What does the polar bear put on a pirate hat and grab the wheel and steer the island around? You know?" And it's just like,
It might as well.
yeah. So, Ashley says Lost reference time. I actually didn't catch any up
There
God.
on either viewing, other than the one that we've already had from episode 1, and that was Mr. Cluck's Chicken Shack.
And leave
So-
it at that.
Oh well. Also Henry's
Shut
door.
up.
His
Well,
door.
yeah, but those are ones
That-
that were already established in the first
Yeah.
episode, so there's no new ones. I'm not
No,
going to
no new
mention
ones.
Mr. Clucks every week. That you guys already know. I made that very apparent, so you
I
know.
want some fried chicken now.
You're welcome.
I've been craving like good old, KFC fried chicken.
Yeah,
for
okay, Popeye's
months.
better.
Not
I know
KFC.
Popeyes is better, but we don't have a good Popeyes on the island in
Make your
driving
own.
Let's
distance.
just end this discussion and I'll go to Chick-fil-A. Jake, where can the people find you?
Oh, you can find me and all of Nikki Wilson Gore and Monsters and Mayhem. Maybe at Chick-fil-A later. It tastes like butter and hating the gays. Or on Twitter, tweeting me at @life at TuNoverland. That's TONOWHERELEND. Join the Noverland Society.
Tastes like tears and
Are we not adding Instagram to this now?
No, that's too much. I ain't got time for that shit.
Nikki,
Skip
where
that shit.
can
I
the
want
people
that
find
shit.
you?
I am so confused right now. I'm perplexed why someone, each and every one of us isn't in a fucking straitjacket right now, eating syrup from a freaking spoon from an orderly. Like, seriously, we are screwed up,
Because
guys.
we're not animals.
Which
Anyway.
orderly would be feeding us?
I eat it from a fork. Thank you.
eat it from a fork.
I don't know, but you can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24. LADYVENOM. Oh, I can't even.
It's
Fucking
not,
just
it's
look,
not
just read.
Nurse Ratched.
No.
Rachel, where can the people find you?
You can find me at VikingWitch76 on Twitter, and VikingWitch on Twitch. Hi, we're all screwed up tonight.
And you can find me down below. Don't even bother. And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Till next time.
Phenomenon.
I tried really hard to make that not happen by not even saying my Twitter name.
Well, you're gonna do it anyway.
It's gonna happen. Deal with it.